Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Daniel again, and I'm gonna show you my recent pickups that I recently did yesterday at a bookstore, and I found some vinyls and bought a bunch of CDs, and wow, I bought a lot. So to start with, we have CDs, lots of CDs. So this is a Delirium, Karma, and just to let you know, every CD was $1, so you can't go wrong with that. And this group sound is sort of similar to Enigma, and especially when they first started, there's some not completely similar exactly, but to some degree in style of the music they're making. And I really like what I heard from Delirium in the past, and I found a bunch of CDs of Delirium, and like I said, $1, you can't beat that. So can't wait to listen to this. And we got more Delirium. No, let me get to the other CDs so that way I can get on board of showing you the albums. And this one is Delirium Somatic Spaces. This one I know because I heard a song called Flatlands on here, and it sounds like a sped up version of Sadness by Enigma. Once again, similarities. But, I really think it's really cool, though, because it's just something you wouldn't expect me to listen to, but I really like that kind of music, in fact. So, we got this, and we also have Delirium Chimera. I hope I'm saying that right. And this one has Silence featuring Sarah McLachlan, who I actually have no problem with. I actually like some of her music, and I do have a greatest hits album of her best songs, like Adia and I Will Remember You, and of course Arms of an Angel. And when I think of that song, I just can't help but think about that animal commercial with the abused dogs and being in a shelter. It makes me sad to listen to it, but it's a beautiful song. And the silence is with her is really good. So her voice complements the music itself. So yeah, all these I all got for at least $1. And so next we also have Megadeth, uh, Countdown to Extinction. And I just listened to this last night after I came home from the book cafe that I bought all the stuff. I just enjoyed it. I really do think Megadeth is a really good band, and I just love this. This album was really awesome, and you have Sympathy of Destruction, and it's just so many good songs. Sweating Bullets is another one. You know, the memorable video of the song with a bunch of Dave Mustang's clones just like in one room. So it's like, okay, this is what happens when you lose your mind. You see a bunch of versions of all of the same clones of yourself. Yeah, it's silly, but it's in an enjoyable sort of way, and I couldn't have it either way. And for Dave Mustang, get well. I know that it sucks when you end up getting cancer, and his is throat cancer for all those who just haven't heard yet. So I hope for a speedy recovery for him, and I hope he doesn't leave us, because there's just too many good musicians going away. And yeah, he had his issues with Metallica when he was originally their guitarist before Kirk Hammett, but the past is the past, and whatever you feel about the man, that's your opinion. But he did give us Megadeth. So, and I also found another little gem. Well, to me, it's a gem. Is the self-titled debut album of Seven Dust. Now, this I'm happy to find because I have some of their other albums like Animosity, uh, Seasons, but I never could find this one anywhere. At least not to my knowledge. But seeing this in the dollar bin was just awesome. So I was like, I like this band. I think they're underrated personally. The only album I don't have so far from their early discography is Home, which I do like. I like some of the songs I heard from the album, especially Cream. Or was it? Is it called Cream? I forgot. It's with a female vocalist. I forgot her name too. I think Skunk or something like that. If you guys remember, I mean, I have it on my phone that I downloaded it on, but I really like that one a lot. Actually, the vocalist and her just mesh well together with the song. But this one is really good. In fact, one of the song "Ruin" that's on this album actually first appeared on the music inspired by the Mortal Kombat Annihilation soundtrack. Yeah, of course, I'm wearing a Mortal Kombat shirt as we speak of that. And oh yeah, just to add more to the fire, yeah, I got the tattoo. You could see I'm a nerd for that game. I'm a big time geek of Mortal Kombat, so hey, got me interested in martial arts as a kid. Like, so, hey, that's a good way to start. Even though I was too young to be looking at blood and guts, but hey, it's a video game. No one bothered me about it. So, but yeah, let's just not speak of Annihilation itself because the movie is pretty bad. But I don't know. I don't hate it. And I wouldn't say I love it. It's just a part of my DVD collection of to go with the first film, even though it's pretty terrible. At least the first film was watchable, and I really liked that one a lot. Probably the closest to a decent adaptation to a video game. But yeah, My Ruin, which is on that soundtrack, and there were at the time when that was released on that soundtrack, there were under the it was released under their old name Crawl Space. But it's really cool that this got on the album because it's a really cool song. Like you got Black Bitch, uh, you know, all these songs, and but yeah, Seven Dust for you. Can't wait to listen to that one because I do like them. Now this one caught my attention real quick and was automatically grabbable. Is the first debut at the first album of Soundgarden before Bad Motorfinger and Super Unknown, the classics. We had this album, and when I saw this, I had to pick it up because it's hard to find this one in music stores. Probably can find it, but usually find their more famous ones. But this is a good addition to the music collection I have, and rest in peace, Chris Cornell. It sucks that he's gone. He's one of the last, I would say, of that era of that kind of music during the '90s, like grunge and all that. But it, well, it's just it's just so cool to find this, and I haven't really heard all the songs in here, but I don't care because it's worth giving it a first listen just by doing this. And, and then there's the band, and in fact, this is before they had a different member of the band. This guy right here, well, not him. This guy, like he's one of the original members, and later on they'll eventually find another guy that would eventually be part of the group for the rest of their musical career. So, okay, the case comes off, which is a pet peeve of mine because it feels like it's good enough for what it is, but it just, and I hate when this happens. Oh yeah, this is the album Louder Than Love. That's the name of it. It doesn't say it on the front cover, but when you look at the sides and you actually see the inside of the disc, it's like, oh, that's what it's called. I thought you would think it's just self-titled because of the cover, but this is this is a to me a treasure worth getting my hands on. I would love to find this on vinyl, but I'm happy with the CD, and thankfully now I can have another Soundgarden album to my music collection. Next is, remember we were talking about Enigma before when I mentioned Delirium, which they were around during the same time when they were making music. Now, I haven't heard anything currently about Delirium because I usually don't look that up too often, but I'm sure they probably have more music out now in current times. I don't know, but I can look into that. And now that I mentioned Enigma, here is the CD album Enigma 3. There's a subtitle, like, it's hard to pronounce it, so I'm not even going to attempt, so I'll just call it Enigma 3 as it's put on the album cover. And I listened to this one last night too. Like it's so calming, but so amazingly beautiful musically. It's definitely what you expect from them. And yeah, it's a weird album cover, but then again, I'm into weird things. But the music itself is really good. I would like to get the very first Enigma album that came out in 1990, and the second one, which has Return to Innocence, because I do like those songs. Those are like definitely their most well-known songs. That and Sadness. But I'm excited to find more of their albums like from that time. Like at least a nice collection of their music. So that will be an enigma for you. Now this one, I usually don't buy soundtrack albums. Like I do have the Saturday Night Fever, which is a classic with the Bee Gees and some other disco acts of the time. But this one is like the I would call it like the opposite of like the of that, but it's still cool to listen to, and that is the Night of the Roxbury soundtrack. I mean, I look at this and I'm like, this is why I bought it because there's some really cool songs from the '90s that were popular at the time. So it's fitting that this club movie of that decade really matches the music of that time, which I do enjoy. You got Cyndi Lauper on here doing, uh, let me find it, Disco Inferno. At first, I didn't realize it was her singing. Then it snapped. I'm like, oh, that's right. I remember seeing it on the back glass when I found it, but didn't buy it because I didn't have enough money to buy a bunch of this stuff. But seeing you got What Is Love, of course, the sound, the main theme of their of the characters, because of course everyone knows that it started. These characters were started as like short skits on SNL, back when it was still at least watchable and was actually still good. But anyway, uh, you got a lot of these songs that just complement the time. So yeah, and oh yeah, I do have the movie on DVD as well. So hey, I got the movie and soundtrack. So if I want to hear "This Is Your Night" by Amber, I can always just pop it in and just listen to it. I can still listen to it on YouTube if I just want to hear it for that. But if you just want to have some fun with your, just nod your head to or dance to it if you want to, this is a good example of listening to some songs on here. I wanted to get up and dance, but I was kind of tired by that point. It was late when I was listening to this, so but I enjoyed myself with this one. Now on to some vinyls, and yes, there's a lot of CDs as you can see, but I also have a couple of vinyls here, and the first one of the this vinyl I bought is Scandal with this and it's 5 tracks mostly on here, so there isn't really other songs. But it has the song "Goodbye to You," which I actually know about. I wish I also found the one that has "Warrior," which I really do like. Plus I used to hear it a lot, especially when I used to watch the show Glow on Netflix. But I don't have time to pay for Netflix to continue the series. I'll probably stream it somewhere else, as long as I don't get a virus. And I'll figure it out. Uh, at least it'll give me a chance to binge watch it more. Which reminds me, I think they're starting a new season. I haven't really checked into that, to be honest. I try to keep up with shows, but it's just, you know. But Scandal, yeah, you got this album. And this was only $4. So you can't beat that. If people think that's expensive, then apparently you haven't found brand new albums in record stores, still sealed and everything. You're talking about someone go for $20 to $30. If it's probably a big special edition album, then chances are it's going to be a lot higher. So I found this album first, and I was like, "Ooh, Scandal!" And it had like I said, it has the song "Goodbye to You," so I know what that is. I know that song. So, and for 5 tracks, it's worth a listen. Uh, the next is Elton John, "Leather Jackets." Now, this one I've heard of, but I never heard the songs from here. And I really like Elton John, so I must have missed out on this era. I mean, I know songs from the 80s era, but this one I'm a little unsure what this is. And plus it was $6. I don't really recognize all the songs on here. Maybe if I hear a song on here, I might kind of recognize it once I hear it, and before I show this, I just want to say Elton John is awesome. Part of my childhood. But I know he's an openly gay man, and that's not problem at all. Actually, I'm friends with a couple of gay people, and I have no problem with that. To me, they're cool. I don't really like to judge people for their sexuality because, like, who cares? But I'm not gonna get into that. But I saw the back cover. I mean, look at this. You would think Elton John's trying to audition to be the new biker member of Village People, which I saw there too. So I'm like, wow. And plus, the place I'm at is LGBT friendly, so they're very good people there. They're hippie type of people, so that's cool. So, Leather Jackets. I can't wait to listen to this. There might be a new song I have. It could be a song I haven't heard yet. I might recognize somewhere, but I don't recognize the names. But that's okay. This gives me a chance to hear an Elton John album that I have yet that passed over my head. So I don't know. 1986. This came out. So this is I'm gathering original pressing, and I think I'm not sure. Like at that time during that period, like Bernie Taupin wasn't writing his songs like he normally did for his whole career. So this was like during that period. So maybe I don't know, but you know, it's it's worth it though. Now this was the one I saw. The first thing I grabbed in it put a big smile on my face because I have my dad's albums of this artist, and wow, and it's a live album. And I usually ain't one to buy just live albums, but there's always an exception, and that is the album is Bernie, not Bernie. I got the other name in my head because I was talking about Elton, but it is Robin Trower live, and I really like this guy. I heard some of his songs on the albums, but wow, this is just something I knew even my dad would like to see. He was surprised I found this at the place I went yesterday to buy all the albums. And I mean, this is truly something worth getting. Like you got some really good ones here, and it's really cool though because I think he's a really good guitar player, very talented. He's Well, I know I said this in the past when I showed his albums, but he has some Jimi Hendrix influence to some degree, and maybe even as far as saying that he's up there with guys like Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan. They just have that sound that makes them memorable. I mean, I always hear about him, but you don't normally hear him in the same breath as other classic rockers. This guy, he even though he doesn't get enough talk, like in the same breath as a lot of big names, but he really is a good artist, and the music is great. The way he plays guitar, it's just you just get so sucked into it, and seeing this was just something worth looking at. So to me, it was worth it. So Robin Trower live. Can't wait to listen to that one. Well, that's all for today, and um, when I get the chance, I'm gonna do more of the saga of my dad's vinyls. So for that time being, I figure I'd give you a pickup video because I really wanted to show these. That's how much I'm happy about my purchases. Like a lot of you guys out there who collect too. Well, You guys have a wonderful weekend and enjoy yourselves. Bye bye.